Welcome back to Hematite Homestead, another episode of growing things and giant pumpkins. Today we are focusing just on pumpkins, and let's get right to it. This is the giant patch with the 1167 LaRue and the 1152 Caspers over here. And let's go ahead and take a closer look. You'll notice something different. I've removed the canopy. I had to have it for a little cookout we did a couple days ago. I took the canopy cover off of it and put my 30% shade cloth on it, and the heat is really beating this plant down bad. I got to do some shading work out here. This is the only plant that the heat seems to be affecting really bad, and I don't understand why. The Caspers hasn't flagged at all. It's doing really well, but the 1167 LaRue is just flagging like crazy, and I don't quite know. We got some potential pumpkins going in here. Let's go in here and take a look at them. I'm fighting a couple problems in here, fighting weeds and fighting bugs. I've been treating for bugs about every once a week. Shouldn't have to do that, I don't feel like, but that's what we're doing. I don't have much of a bug problem going on right here now on the Caspers, and since we're right here at the Caspers, we'll take a deep dive into it. This plant has been the one that's been a roller coaster for me. One day it gives me a lot of hope, and another day it's got me really discouraged. Not sure what that is, but nice big stump, and it's in pretty good shape. I lost a few, I had to clean up some vines. I got a little bit of a split there. I'll keep an eye on that. And now this plant does not have the vegetation, the secondaries to really push a pumpkin right now, but we're already inside 100 days to October, and I felt like I had to do something. We pollinated this. This is pollinated on June 28th, and I expect it to be bigger than that right now. I've had it underneath of this shade pretty much the whole time, and we'll do something a little different with that. I did pollinate again this morning, this one right here, as a backup. Oh, it's June 28th, today's July 4th, so this is day 6. And I expect more out of that, I think. I don't really know, but we're going to continue to watch it. If that one takes off, then I'll probably pluck this one up here. And working on my S curve right here. I'm going to bring this plant around through here and bring it back through here, and I will probably have to terminate it when it gets up here to the center block, because I don't want to grow it into the LaRue. So we're looking at the 1167 LaRue right now, and you'll notice it's much smaller than last time you saw it. This is my stump back here. It goes all the way back in the ground, right around in here. And I lost about 3 secondaries off of it. They just laid over dead, and I don't know what in the world happened. I carefully removed them with the razor, and I even did some exploratory surgery on the vine to see if I had a vine borer going on in there, and I couldn't find any evidence of vine borer, couldn't find any vine borers, and I don't know what happened. 3 secondaries back here just laid over dead in a couple of days, and now this one here looks like it's headed that direction, and I don't really know what's going on. But I'm going to keep an eye on it and keep trying to baby the plant and get it where I need it to. So the plant was headed the wrong direction, and we brought it over here and brought it up this way, and I plan on filling it in all the way up there to the end. I think it was rolling like a rocket, like somebody shot out of a cannon, and then it just shut down. And I've been watering like crazy. I don't think it's a water problem, but I just don't know. I also got one pollinated here. This one was pollinated on June 20. Let's see. Okay, I got it backwards. This one was June 28th. That one was June 29th. So that's day 5. And this is day 6. And it's a little bit odd shaped there. I'm a little bit concerned. I'm not sure that I got it. I like the size of the stump. It seems like the only thing growing is the stump. And nice and big and fat on this side. And not doing anything over here. So I don't know if I got it or not. Again, I expect a little bit more out of that after 6 days. But I am keeping an eye on this one. I got another one up here. Nice little football shaped pumpkin. And I'll keep my eye on that and probably pollinate it as a backup until we see what this one's going to do. And that's the 1167 LaRue. I'm over here now at the compost pumpkins, and you can see this thing is still raging on like crazy. I'm pretty impressed. This is way bigger than what we ended up with last year over here. And don't know what varieties these are. These are just pumpkins that the pigs ate over the winter, and we collect their poop and put it in a big pile here, and this is what we got out of it. These are the pumpkins. This plant right here, I've already pollinated 2 pumpkins on, and neither one of them took. So I'm just kind of going to let the bees do their thing here now. And I don't have much more fruit in here. This plant right here is pretty impressive. Nice big leaves and starting to grow some secondaries out. There's not much I'm going to be able to do with this grass out here. But, I mean, I'll keep an eye on these pumpkins. Here's one coming right here. If this one takes, then I'll set it on a board or something to get it out of this grass. You know, we didn't plant any of these. These all grew on their own. So they'll do what they do and hopefully give us something. There's one right there. I did not pollinate that. Hopefully the bees got it. There's a lot of bee activity in here. Again, I don't know what varieties they are, but nice big leaves. I mean, the leaves on this are way bigger than the leaves of the underdog. So it might be, I mean, there's potential. It could be some of those Amazon seeds. We fed all that to the pigs last winter. So, you know, it could be a giant, but it could also just be some other type of pumpkin. And this is the other patch. This is where I took all the compost out, and all this grew from where the compost was sitting at. Some of them are dying off, and that's what we ran into last year. It really took off like a rocket early in the season and died off pretty quick. I'm thinking that, you know, it might be burned up, might be too much nutrients in the ground for them, perhaps. I don't know. Still haven't gone in here and staked up these tomatoes I want to keep, and it's kind of gotten away from me. But hopefully I'll find some time to get to that. I want to get you over here and look at the underdog. And we also pollinated a pumpkin on the 400 house. But for starters, I'm right here at the pig pasture right now. And I got my field pumpkins in here. And we haven't looked at that at all yet. So let's go over here and look at that real quick. All right, here's the field pumpkin patch. And it goes down about 220 feet or so, I think it is. And did something way different this year. Last year we just filled this in as much as we could with pumpkins, and this year I only did a row down both sides, and hopefully I planted them so that they will all vine out in the middle. And I think I got most of them right, but it looks like this one here is probably headed for the tall grass and fence. And I might be able to turn it around. But I got 100 field pumpkins in here. These are the 4th generation pumpkin seeds that we've been harvesting here ever since we moved up here and built the house. I haven't bought pumpkin seeds since the first year we were here. These will be 5th generation pumpkins is what they'll produce this year. And they're just all different varieties of pumpkins that we grew and pumpkins that people gave us at the end of the November, October pumpkin seasons that we fed to the pigs and harvested seeds out of them, and that's what's in here. I did lose a few of them. There's one going right there. I got a couple more up there that look like they're not going to make it. So we started off with 100, and I think I'm down to 96. That's not counting what's on the end down here. I did buy pie pumpkins this year to give a shot. I got those from Baker's Creek, and that's what I got down here on the end. From here all the way to the end is pie pumpkins. I did sunflower seeds all around the border again up here, and hopefully they'll take off and be nice and pretty to look at. I need to come in with the mower today and mow down all around the patch and do some weed control. The weeds aren't too awful bad down here on this end. The water sits up there mostly, and you can see a big difference in the weeds and grass taking off in the middle of the patch up here. And that's something I gotta work on too. A little tougher to water over here. It's a long stretch for water hoses. The pump that I'm pumping out my collected water won't even think about pumping it all the way over here. So I've had a little bit of a rough time getting water over here. All my water collection systems are completely empty. The creek is bone dry. We really need some rain. Weatherman called for some rain every day for like 7 days, and we've had some storms blow through with some lightning and some wind, and it didn't rain a drop, and we need rain pretty bad. All right, the underdog and the 400 house, and both of these have been pollinated. We'll start off with the underdog. So I'm liking the vines and secondaries that the underdog is laying down. I got my S curve going on right here, and we'll bring it back around this way to about in here, and then run it all the way down to the end if it grows that much. Last year this plant didn't grow but like 10 feet, so big difference. I wrapped my secondaries in the back around. We talked about that last time where I had them too close together, and I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. This is also not a competition plant. My plan for this plant is over the next 4 or 5 years to go into something reputable and give us some good genetics over the next few years. This is pollinated with the 400 house. My goal is to get 250 pounds out of it this year. Well, all right, so there's that. I'll put my hand here to give you a comparison. This is June 24th. This was pollinated, so it is 10 days old. A little bit of an odd shape at the end there. It looks kind of like an acorn squash. That's a little odd, but I do believe it took just fine, and I'm going to continue to grow it. I've been plucking females off of this plant, so I'm kind of committed to this one here. And here's the, so, you know, my secondaries starting to go through the fence. I don't know if I should terminate that or continue to wrap them around. I don't know. I'll have to think about that a little bit. So there's an underdog seed I bought on Amazon.com last year. It came from CZ Grain, and I grew it to 68 pounds with pretty much not taking care of it properly. But it's you know, you can tell by the leaf pattern, it's definitely not a really good genetic seed. But like I said, over the next couple of years, I hope to go into something nice, and I will have to get out here and put a better shade structure over top of that, and hopefully I'll get that this evening. So the 400 house, this one was pollinated on, let's see, I'm gonna have to look on my camera. 400 house was pollinated July 1st. So this one is 3 days old. And I pollinated this with the 1152 Caspers. So we'll see what we get out of it. Again, not going to be a competition plant. This is kind of for my own growing experience. And we'll see where it lands at. This is the one that had the funky stump. It's kind of flat. Let me get a good look there. See, I'm touching both sides of it, so it's round down in the hole. Then it came out flat as can be here and came back out round. I don't know what's up with that, but it's kind of weird. My buddy from Heavenly Hills came and looked at it when he picked up his piglet, and he said he'd never seen nothing like that before. I did a lot of vine bearing. I mean, I did a ton of vine bearing on it, and it's doing pretty good. It's throwing down some secondaries, and you know, again, we'll see what we get out of it. These shade huts I made out of 1/2-inch pegs didn't really hold up that great. They did good for a while, but I'm gonna yank them out of here today. So I think moving forward, I'll just keep using the 3/4 pegs because it held up just fine. But these kind of fell over after a month or so. All right, so the underdog and the 400 house. 400 house just a couple days old. The underdog is 10 days old and showing me lots of promise. Again, not competition pumpkins. I just want to spend the next few years getting this to something with good genetics and good reputation. And you know, 4 years is what I'm thinking, but maybe we can do it less than that. We'll just have to keep plugging away at it. I guess what my big question is especially on the underdog, I have a scale that goes 660 pounds. I'm kind of shooting for 250 on the underdog, but you know, it might surprise me to do more. As long as it is less than 660, I can weigh it here at the homestead. But I'm wondering if I want to collect the seeds out of it and call it, let's say it grows 250, call it the haul 250, the 250 haul for next year. Do I have to get it officially weighed, or can I just weigh it here and call it what it is? Well, same thing for the 400 house. It's not going to leave this patch. It's going to get weighed here if it's less than 660, and that's going to be that. So I'll have to do some research and figure out that. If you know the answer to that, drop a comment down below. And that's about all I've got today. So underdog's plugging away. It's my biggest pumpkin so far, and it is 4 days older than the next oldest pumpkin, which I'm kind of keeping an eye on. I'm not sure if we got those or not. All right, we want to follow these guys and see what we can do with the underdog. If you like what we're doing here, hit that subscribe button. Appreciate you watching, and we will see you next time.